Hello students, we are discussing the types of enthalpy. Now let us discuss here Hess law of constant heat of summation. Okay, here we have the law, that is what Hess law. What is going to tell here? Okay, now let us see here. Hess law state that the total amount of heat, total amount of heat evolved or absorbed in a chemical reaction is always same whether the reaction is carried out in one step or in several steps. Let us see the example. Okay, illustration, if you see, this means that the heat of reaction depends only on the initial and final stages and not on the intermediate stage through which the reaction is carried out. Okay, let us see this one with example. Okay, now I am taking the one example. Let us consider a reaction in which A gives the D. Okay, the reaction is brought out in one step and the let the heat of reaction will be delta H. For example, A is converted into D. Okay, in the direct part, in that reaction, what is the enthalpy means delta H. Okay, this is a one way. Now if you see suppose the same reaction is brought out in the three stages, means instead of A is converted into directly D, so first what happened, A is converted into B. So for this reaction, enthalpy 1 delta H1. Next B is converted into C. For this reaction, enthalpy is 1 delta H2. And then finally C is converted into D. Okay, for this reaction 1 delta H3. So here A is converted into D directly in the first one step. Okay, direct path. In the second step, what happened in the second way, A is converted into B, B is converted into C, C is converted into D. Now what it will take Hess law? This delta H value is equal to delta H1, delta H2, delta H3. Okay, so the net heat of reaction. So if you see in this reaction, the net heat of reaction delta H, how much here we have delta H1 plus delta H2 plus delta H3. So according to Hess law is what? This value delta H should be sum of all the delta H values. So delta H should be equal to delta H1 plus delta H2 plus delta H3. Now let us see one example. Okay, consider the formation of CO2. It can be prepared in two ways. I am talking about the CO2. Okay, now CO2 formation we are discussing. So you can go further in two ways. If you go for direct method is what? By heating carbon in excess of oxygen. Now the carbon, I have the oxygen, I am going for the excess of oxygen. So directly getting the carbon dioxide in direct step. Okay, this is in the direct. So delta H, how much you are getting? This much value getting. Okay, minus 393.5 kilojoules. Now indirect method is what? Indirect method, carbon can be converted into CO2 in the following two steps. And the second method is what? I am going for the two steps. Instead of going for the single step, I am going for the two steps. So in this one, carbon a reaction with half moles of oxygen. First you are going to get the carbon monoxide. In that reaction, delta H, how much you are getting? Minus 110.5 kilojoules. Okay. Next what happened? Carbon monoxide reaction with the half moles of oxygen going to get the carbon dioxide. Now in this reaction, delta H to what? Minus 283.02 kilojoules. Okay. So first what we done? We got the CO. From CO again we got the CO2. So in this now total enthalpy, how much you are getting now? Delta H1 plus delta H2. If you go for that one, how much you are getting? Minus 393.52 Kelvin. Okay. Now if you see in the direct step we got the this much value. In the indirect step also we got the this much value. Okay. Two delta H values are same. Okay. Now let us see here. What is the definition of just now we discussed? Hess law of constant heat of summation means here Hess law states that the total amount of heat, okay, evolved or absorbed in a chemical reaction, whatever that might be, okay, is going to evolve or absorb, whatever that may be, in a chemical reaction is always same whether the reaction is carried out in one step or in several steps. If it's going for the one step or several steps, the delta H value should be same. That is called as what? Hess law of constant heat of summation. So if you go for the heat of summation, that is a constant. This is called as what? Hess law of constant heat of summation. Okay. Now let us discuss the next. We have lattice enthalpy or lattice energy. Okay. So how can you define lattice enthalpy means? You can define for the bond breaking and bond formation. Okay. Now we are going to discuss about the two types here. Let us see here. Lattice enthalpy or lattice energy means what? It is a change in enthalpy during the formation of, okay, 1 mole of, here important, 1 mole of ionic crystal form oppositely charged ions. Okay. Formed from where? Oppositely charged ions in their gaseous state separated at infinite distance is called lattice energy. Okay, what is the meaning of that one? Okay, for example, if you have here NaCl is there. Okay, Now NaCl is going to form. How it is going to form? It is going to form from the sodium ion in the gaseous state, Cl minus ion in the gaseous state. They are they are very away from each other. Now they are going to come together, and that too should be in the what? In the gaseous form. So during bond formation, what happened? Energy going to be liberated. So at that time, if you calculate the enthalpy, that is called as a lattice enthalpy. Okay. Why? Because we have the lattice structure for NaCl. So now 1 mole of sodium is going to form. So if you calculate the enthalpy, that is called as a lattice enthalpy. Okay. Or simply you can another way, it is an enthalpy change when 1 mole of ionic compound dissociate into its ions in the gaseous state. Reverse now. If you see 1 mole of sodium chloride is there. Now breaking of bond. Here also Na plus Cl minus, that too you should be in the gases. You have to get the gaseous ions. Okay. So bond breaking what? In the endothermic process. So in lattice enthalpy you can define for the formation and breaking of bond. Here if you see for the formation and what breaking, here if you see same we have the magnitude but sign is different. So bond formation what? Exothermic. Bond breaking is endothermic. So lattice enthalpy we are taking the 1 mole of ionic crystal. Important ionic crystal we are taking that one, and you have to get formation means you have to take the oppositely charged ions that to be in the gaseous state. If you are talking about the breaking means ions has to get in the gaseous state. That is called as what? Lattice enthalpy or lattice energy. Okay. Now if you see here, it is impossible to determine lattice enthalpy directly. We can use indirect method where we construct an enthalpy diagram called Born-Haber cycle. Here what happened? You cannot directly calculate the lattice enthalpy. Okay. So we are going for the indirectly by using when constructing the enthalpy diagram. That enthalpy diagram, okay, talking about the enthalpy only, that enthalpy diagram we call as a Born-Haber cycle. Okay. Now let us discuss the formation of NaCl by taking the word Born-Haber cycle. Okay. Formation, we are talking about the formation of NaCl. You should be very careful. In the textbook they given the formation of NaCl. Okay. So we are discussing about the Born-Haber cycle for the formation of NaCl. Now let us now calculate the lattice enthalpy of NaCl, formation of NaCl by following steps. Okay. In that we have some abbreviation. Delta H sub means what? Enthalpy of sublimation. Delta Hi means enthalpy of ionization. Delta H of bond means bond dissociation enthalpy. Delta Heg means electron gain enthalpy. Already we came across in the word classification of element, the symbol. Okay. Next, delta H of means enthalpy of formation. Delta H lattice means enthalpy of lattice. Okay. Now let us see here what formation of NaCl. Here we have the diagram. Okay. This is called Born-Haber cycle. Now here I am going to start from here. Okay. I am going to focus. I am going to start from here. So here sodium in the solid state plus half moles of Cl2 gas gives rise to NaCl. Here I am getting the NaCl in the solid state. It is what? Direct step. Okay. I am going to here in the one step, direct step I got the NaCl. How means sodium is present in the solid state. Okay. And half moles of Cl2 in the gas state. They are combined together giving the what? NaCl in the solid state. That is what? Enthalpy of formation. Enthalpy of formation means what is definition we have? Both should be in the reactant, should be in the what? Elemental state. So both are present in elemental state. So how much you are going to get here? Minus 411.2 kilojoule per mole. Why? Because we are going to get the 1 mole. Okay. So here bond formation is exothermic process. So delta H enthalpy of formation what is? Minus 411.2. So symbol is important. Okay. Next, if I go for the indirect method. So indirect method what I am doing here? Okay. Now simply I am following Hess law. Hess law, if you see Hess law, it is direct method, delta enthalpy this much. Now if you go for the indirect method, okay. Indirect method, first what I will do, this sodium, whatever the sodium solid is there, I am going to convert into gas. Okay. Why? Because means lattice enthalpy definition is what? I have to get the gaseous ion should be in the ions, I have to get the ions in the gaseous state. So first I have to get the solid I converted into gas. So as you know very well, solid directly converted into gas means what? Sublimation. So sublimation is what? Endothermic process, means going to get the energy. So sodium solid is converted into gas. During that, how much energy going to absorb here? Why? Because means already we discussed solid converted into gas is endothermic process. So you are going to get the some amount of energy, that is what? Plus 108.4 kilojoule per mole. Okay. So this is what? Enthalpy of sublimation. After that what I am going to do? I am going to convert as this ions. Why? Because means for lattice definition we have to get the gaseous ion. So sodium gas is converted into sodium ion. This I am called as what enthalpy of ionization. Why I am calling enthalpy of ionization means already we know enthalpy ionization means what? The energy required to remove an electron from the gaseous neutral atom. Okay. So from the valence shell you are going to remove one electron, that in the gaseous neutral atom. So this is called what? Enthalpy of ionization. So my Na plus gas in the form of gas, it is ready now. Now I have to focus on the chlorine. Okay. Chlorine already we have in the gas. Okay. But here we what? We have the. But here what happened? If you see the Na plus Cl minus means we need the only one chlorine atom we need. But here what we have, half mole of Cl2 is there. So I am going to break the bond. Why? Because means we need the chlorine atom. Okay, not the molecule. So now I am going to break this bond. So this is called as a bond enthalpy. Here also energy was endothermic process. So delta here should be what? Positive. How much we have? Here we have the value 121 kilojoule per mole. Okay. So we are going to make the half. We are going to break the bond here. Next now Na plus gas and Cl gas atom in the form of atom is available. But what we need here? We need the chloride ion. Cl minus gas in the form of ion we need. So now what I will do for this chlorine? I am going to add one electron. So as you know very well, electron gain enthalpy means what? Here the addition of electron to the gaseous neutral atom is called as what? Electron gain enthalpy. So during this process, what is the enthalpy said? That is called as what? Delta H. So already you know very well, electron gain enthalpy is what? First electron gain enthalpy is negative. So here if you see the symbol delta H value what? Negative. So how much that is? Minus 348.6 kilojoule per mole. Okay. Now my Na plus and Cl minus in the gaseous state is available. If both are combining together, we are calling what? Lattice enthalpy. Now I don't know the lattice enthalpy, but we can calculate the indirect step. How means here? So we don't know this lattice enthalpy. Now we are going to calculate our Born-Haber cycle. That is the use of Born-Haber cycle. You can calculate the lattice enthalpy by using the Born-Haber cycle. Now we are going to calculate the lattice enthalpy. Let us see now here. According to our Hess law of constant heat of summation is what? Delta H of direct step equal to delta H of indirect step. Okay. Summation of delta H of indirect step. Now for direct step enthalpy of formation, how much we have? Minus 411.2. Okay. Now if you go for the constant heat of summation for other step, what we have take? We have went for the enthalpy of sublimation. First step is for enthalpy of sublimation plus enthalpy of ionization plus enthalpy of bond enthalpy. Next plus we have enthalpy of electron gain enthalpy. Next we have to go for the lattice enthalpy. Okay. So this according to what? Hess law of constant heat of summation. Now this one we have to find out. All we have these values. Okay, just substitute all this value. We have to find out this one. If you go for the now simplification, here the symbols are very important. According to that you have to go for the addition and subtraction. So now if you go for the symbol here, what we have? Yeah, if you go for simplification, finally you are getting the delta H value, lattice enthalpy. How much you are getting? Minus 788 kilojoules per mole. Here definitely you have to get the minus. Why? Because we are talking about the sodium chloride formation. Bond formation what? Exothermic process. So you are going to get the what? Minus 788 kilojoules per mole. Okay. So this is about the what? Born-Haber cycle. Here in the notes we have indirect step. First what we done? We went for the sublimation of sodium metal. Means sodium solid is converted into gas. It is an endothermic process. Delta H symbol is what? Plus. Next what we done? Ionization of sodium. So sodium is converted to sodium ions. Okay. So here also we have symbol what? Delta H is positive. Next here we have we need the chlorine one atom, but here we have two. So here we are going to break the bond. So bond enthalpy. So how much we have here? We have plus. Okay. Why? Because means it's endothermic process. Next electron gained by chlorine atom. So chlorine is converted into ion. Okay. So converted to chloride ion. It is a exothermic process. So finally we calculate the lattice enthalpy. Okay. So in the direct step directly we have done this one. So if you go for the direct step equal to what? Whatever calculate delta H summation of indirect step. So like that you can calculate the enthalpy, lattice enthalpy by using the Born-Haber cycle. Now let us discuss limitations of first law of thermodynamics. Okay. Already we discussed first law of thermodynamics is mathematical expression is what? Delta U equal to Q plus W are neither energy created nor destroyed. Now here we have some limitations. What are the limitations? Let us see. The first law of thermodynamics tells about the relation between the heat absorbed and the work performed on or by the system, but unable to predict the direction change or feasibility process in a particular direction. So what happened here? If you see the first of thermodynamics discussing about the what, how much amount of heat is absorbed or evolved. Already we saw the piston work, okay, pressure volume work, how much work is done on the system by the system only, but it is not able to tell direction, means either is the reaction is going to forward direction or backward direction, or the reaction is possible or not. Feasibility means what, is the reaction is possible or not, that is not going to discuss in the what, first law of thermodynamics, okay.